So every year, people always ask me, what do you do in the winter? You mow yards during the spring and the summer and the fall. What about in the winter when it's the off season? How do you make money? How do you survive? And every year I give the same answer, but maybe it's better to give a new updated answer every year going off of what I say, just to share what I've learned along the way. Because before, what I used to say was I don't work in the winter. I work my ass off during the spring, summer, and fall so hard to the point where winter I want to enjoy it. Now, to caveat that, the first winter I had a personal training job. I had quit my previous job at a restaurant and I was doing freelance personal training, not working for somewhere, but doing it at my apartment gym. And I would go to gyms and I would just do it under the table. I did that to supplement my first year in lawn care because I just didn't have enough customers because it was my first year. But after my first year, my second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, I had so much money saved up by the end of the year because all my customers that I had made that previous year, I compounded that by growing it into a bigger list the next year. And then each time you start each spring, you have more customers than the previous, and it just really, it starts to avalanche, and it really gets easier the more you have a bunch of customers because people know about you, and your growth, it compounds because now you're in all these neighborhoods more often and people see you more often. So now you're getting more callers. It's easier to get callers the bigger you get, obviously. But the first year it's tough, but you can figure it out. You could have a job. You don't have to quit your job immediately. You could do lawns on the side, or you could do whatever you want. That's just what I did. But I used to just tell people I just take the winter off. And then I'm happy because the second year in business, I went to the Philippines because, again, the first year I had to work and I was stressed out. The second year, Christmas, I was happy and I had money. So I went to the Philippines and then I met my wife and then now I have a baby. So I'm glad that I did that because it led me to where I'm at now. But my advice to you, though, enough about me, is for the winter, I live in San Antonio, Texas. It doesn't snow. So there really is no off season because you could just transition from offering and saying, hey, let me mow your yard every 2 weeks. I could just change all my ads and wordings, and I could offer to my customers landscape bed maintenance. I could even do little installs. I could do fall cleanups. You could do pressure washing. You could do Christmas light hanging. You could do junk hauling. You could do shrub and tree trimming. You could do regular landscaping. You could do so many things, right? Me personally, what I do is I just transition more towards maintenance, cleanups, / just for my existing yards. I won't go and I won't take on a bunch of new yards. I just want to clean up. I'll kind of just work with what I have for my current customers and try to focus on improving their yard. And if a new caller comes and they have a yard that I think I can take on, I'll do it. But I'm just picky is what I'm saying. And then I do a little bit, but I don't really push myself too hard. And then I kind of just let my body rest because I know that for the spring, it's going to be the busiest time of the year. In the summer, it's going to be so hot. I'm just trying to survive. In the fall, it's going to be busy again. And then in the winter, it's going to slow down. So I don't really try to go hard in the winter because I know that there's a time and a season for everything. I used to always say that, but then I started reading my Bible, and then I made a little note right here. Even the Bible says for everything there is a season. There is a time to plant and there is a time to pluck what you've planted. There is a time to break down something and there's a time to build up something. There is a time to even mourn and be sad, and there's a time to dance and be happy. There's a time to throw stones and there's a time to gather stones, and there is a time to be silent. Maybe when I don't post videos, that's my time to be silent. There's a time to speak, which is right now. And then to finish it, there is a time for war and there's a time for peace. So come early spring, I'm going to wage war on my yards. But going into the winter, I'm kind of going into peace mode. I'm just going to relax, regroup, think, plan, enjoy my baby and my family. My wife finally is here. She has her green card. So I have a lot to do besides just mow, because the mowing is not going anywhere in February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. And if I decide I want to take December and January off, I'm going to do that. So that's my advice to you, at least my perspective to you, is your first year, don't just fuck off and go party and stuff. Go work hard and realize the first winter is going to be tough. Even if you live in Texas, if you live where it snows, you could snowplow, you could drop salt, you could do all these things. You could get contracts set up just like you do contracts with mowing. But your first winter might be tough, but then if you stay in business throughout another 8, 9, 10 months, unless you're brain dead, I think you'll be in a really good spot that following winter. Then everything that you have, you'll see it compounding and growing. So I also made examples of other seasonal businesses. I'm all about that sticky note game right now. Snow cone shops. I like snow cones. There's a place called Bahama Bucks near me, but they don't sell snow cones in the winter. At least I'm not going to go. So what do they do throughout the rest of the year? Because they don't sell anything else. I think they just make a lot of money in the spring and summer maybe a little bit into the fall, and then winter they just slow down and they accept it. Maybe they transition, but I don't know. What do you guys think snow cone shops do in the winter? Also, ski resorts. I go to Keystone, Breckenridge. My dad's always taking me there every year to go snowboarding and do cool stuff. But in the summer, what do? They turn their ski slope mountains into mountain bike trails, and it's the same thing. It's just melted snow, so now you could ride bicycles down it. And then in the winter, it's time to snowboard again. So they did a transition for the ski resorts. For pool maintenance, that's kind of like with lawn care. What do they do in the winter when no one's swimming? I don't know. Maybe they just make a lot of money during the spring, summer, fall. They probably make stupid money because everybody wants to swim in Texas. And in the winter, they probably do the same thing. They probably enjoy, regroup, and just get ready for the season ahead, because there's a lot of preparing to do for them if they're going to go at an extra fast pace, which is kind of what we do. We go at an extra fast pace during the growing seasons, and then lawn care slows down during the winter. And what about tax preparers? I'm sure they make money all year, but I think they make a majority of their money, I assume, during the April, March time of year when it's time to file your taxes. So what do tax preparers do? They probably have little consistent income, but they probably make the big boom of their money when it's time to file. And then also fireworks. What do people who run those fireworks stands do if you live in America? I mean, I guess they sell fireworks in Costa Rica too. I don't know anywhere else. But during not July and not December, what do those people who sell fireworks do? I don't know. They probably do another business. So my lawn care business, any lawn care business, I never said that you're supposed to work 24/7, 365. I've always said that you should take the winter off. But now, knowing what I know, even the Bible says there's a time to work and there's a time to rest. The winter is a time to rest, and then the 3/4 of the year, opposite to that, is the time to work. So that's my advice. What do you guys do for the winter? Let me know. Peace.